Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about essentially swinging the ball and why it's so crucial for your offense. Now we're going to look at it through the guise of the Suns and especially Kevin Durant. This is something they did very effectively on offense. They obviously struggled on defense from time to time, but this is something that they really succeeded with on offense, and we're going to discuss why it's so important. Let's go. The first aspect that's really important to talk about is the spacing. So you can't really swing the ball if you don't have spacing in the first place. Two aspects of spacing that are really important is one, we can see the 5 out here from the Suns. Okay, we can see essentially corner, wing, Nurkic is going to go to the top. This Beal is over here in the wing, and then we have finally the other corner as well. And so what this does is it puts the defense in, they have to cover a lot more ground. And because they have to cover a lot more ground, it makes it much more difficult for them to stop drives and also guard the perimeter. The second thing is you have to have shooters. So if you had non-shooters, if KD couldn't shoot, PJ Washington doesn't have to be out here. He can sag back here into the paint. But because KD can shoot, you have to close out. You have to be out there on the perimeter. Same with over here. Here, not here probably. But having shooters around the floor makes it so the defense has to close out to them in order to prevent it. So because Kyrie is slightly out of position there because they're in rotation, very difficult to move. So this is first off going to be a really nice block. So as he rises up to get this block, we're going to see kind of like a scramble situation. The ball is going to get kicked out, and PJ Washington came back in here for the rebound. They didn't get the rebound. So essentially what that means is now you're going to have Clay out here with 2 shooters. And so this is an advantage that you want to take advantage of. So the ball gets kicked out, swing, and now you have KD opening. And KD, because PJ is all the way down here, now has the opening, and he's not going to hesitate to shoot that ball whatsoever. So now we can note how essentially like ingrained into good players this is. Like they just understand the feel for the game and where to go, even in transition. This isn't something set. You didn't have time to draw this up or something like that. This is just in the flow. So we have 3 on 4. The only way to take advantage of that effectively is to space things out. So a lot of teams would have one player run down here into the middle in particular, but the Suns are good shooters, so they know their strengths are on the outside, so they're fine with spacing with 3s on the perimeter. So one, move the ball from side to side. Hey, Beal draws the defender, so now you're going to have Booker and KD and one defender between them. And with good spacing, it's going to be impossible for that one player to guard both of them. He goes with Booker because Booker has the ball, a quick swing to KD, and a non-contest to a wide-open KD 3. The reason the concept of swinging the ball is so important because it allows you to convert every slight advantage into bigger advantages. So here, because number 15 leaped into the air, you're going to get slight advantage here because Podziemski now has to close out. So now we have 3 players here, and we have 4 offensive players. The ability to convert this is ideal for the offense. So first off, the one thing I really like is Grayson Allen sprints over here to the corner. Grayson Allen's a lights out shooter, and so the idea is if you don't have someone close out there, then you're going to have a wide open 3 in the corner. So then the other thing is you have 2 players here, Beal, and then KD instantly gravitates away from Beal, and because Schroeder chooses to close out here, you're going to have KD relatively uncontested or a late contest at best, and that leads to another wide open 3. So this is the end of the game. I really don't know what Denver's defense is doing in this possession. I have frankly no idea. But essentially, Grayson Allen is just going to set a screen over here. And so essentially we have 1, 2, 3 offensive players and 2 defensive players. Grayson Allen is setting the screen so Nikola Jokic isn't able to get to Booker. So this defender says, okay, well, if he can't get to Booker, I have to close out to Booker. And Booker's like, well, that means somebody's open in the corner. That person is KD. So the ability to swing this ball quickly, timely, and obviously with 1.5 seconds when they started that possession. So being able to move the ball quickly and make those split-second decisions gives him that open look. All right, boom. So Cavs, essentially, they choose specifically to kind of create the little disadvantage for themselves. So because there's low time on the shot clock, they're going to close out here. And so Booker is going to go, first off, he's going to go away from them. Now, KD understands that he now has the edge. He has the advantage out here. And I like the fact the post player flashes up here to give Booker potentially some help. He draws this defender slightly with him. And so Booker's able to recognize KD has the advantage, create the space, and throw it where the defender isn't going to be able to close out quickly here. He has to close out a little bit further, which gives KD just a split second more reaction to be able to get this shot up quickly and hit it before shot clock goes off. And so while the Suns' time together didn't really work out perfectly with Booker, Beal, and Kevin Durant, I think there's a lot we can definitely learn from it. Their ability to swing the ball and shoot on the perimeter and create slight edges and then make those edges into points, make those edges into efficient shots was absolutely wonderful. The Suns used their spacing to create farther distance for the defenders to close out. They used quick movement to be able to make sure they passed it before the defenders could get there. They used good shooting to make sure defenders had to respect them on the perimeter, and they used 5-out style offense to make sure that they had more space to work with on the inside and on the outside ultimately as well. If you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a blessed rest of your day.